What's up, everyone, and welcome back. Today will be my build of the week video. This time I'm going to go and do something a little bit more simple, something that anyone can build. Just to give you a quick tutorial, this time it will be the macro coil. Macro coil is being renamed from what we've all been calling the micro coil for a while, but this is a little bit bigger diameter. This one will be a 1/8 inch diameter macro coil, and we'll do a dual macro coil. I'll show you on this first. This is the Valkyrie clone, the EH Pro Valkyrie clone. Nice, right? Nice and sexy little mod I got here now. Just got this today. I'll be doing a review on this after I use it for a while. But I'll show you. This is macro coil. This is a dual macro coil. This one was I think 5 wraps, 24 gauge Kanthal with the cotton wick. I won't be building it on the Valkyrie since I just built this like, I don't know, 2 hours ago. We're going to build it on the IGO-M. But I just wanted to show you what a macro coil is. This is a macro coil. Let's go ahead and put this back together and show you how vapes. This one has a little bit of a nicotine in it, kind of burning the throat. I haven't been using much nicotine. For some reason I drip nicotine in this one. So there's that. That's macro coil. Now we're going to go into build mode, and I'll show you how to build a macro coil on the IGO-M. All right, guys? So stick around and watch how it's built. All right, you guys, welcome to build mode. These are the things you will need to build your macro coil. We have needle nose right here. We have wire cutters here, 24 gauge wire, my jumbo paper clip, which I use for everything, my small Allen wrench to do my Allen screws, my 1/8 Allen wrench to wrap my coil, tweezers, ohm meter, and IGO-M deck. All right, so let's go and get down to it and get this thing built. So first things first, we need a decent amount of this 24 gauge wire. Let me just go ahead and cut it here, get it out of the way. So here's our 24 gauge. Let's go ahead and cut that in half. And we'll go ahead and get to wrapping this coil. Okay, so here we go. We'll start first and make our 5 wraps. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now I normally always do this so I can back off that first wrap, because the first wrap never comes out right when you're wrapping these things by hand. And always try and get your initial wraps fairly tight, as tight as you can get them, but we're going to tighten them up later as we go along. With 24 makes life a little bit easier because this stuff is pretty easy to work with. Let's go ahead and tighten that one, tighten that one. And yeah, we got 5. See? 5 wraps. This is your macro coil. And we'll clean it up later once we have everything installed. How easy is that? Okay, so let's go ahead and install our macro coil. There we go. And you just kind of bend them out with these deep wells to make it a little bit easier to get your wire through. And we'll try and pull this somewhat tight. That looks pretty darn good. A little bit more over there. Okay, so there's that. Let's go ahead and tighten these little screws down. And you see that burn? That was from that wickless coil. Look at that. My hands are all deformed now. My hand modeling career is over. Go tighten down this one. And one thing that's nice with this 24 gauge is you can crank down on it pretty darn good and it's not going to break on you. Alright, that looks pretty good. Alright, take that out. We'll clip these legs off. And that is the start of your first macro coil. It looks dirty, it looks nasty, but you'll see later how we fix that without having to use a torch. So let's test it. Do it a couple times, make sure. Alright, so we're at 0.57. See if we can make any difference here by tightening these down just a little bit more. All right, that looks good. So let's go ahead and make the next one. And I'll do this one off camera and we'll come back and I'll show you how everything goes. Oh, and just so you guys can see, when I'm making these coils, the one thing I didn't tell you with the next one, these macros, since they're not so thin, when I get these, I kind of bend the legs so they both kind of line up there in the middle, sort of like that. That way your coil doesn't go all wonky because we're keeping this coil nice and horizontal. All right. Okay, let's go ahead and install this one. And for you guys out there that have these IGO-Ms, and remember this is going to work on any dripper. It doesn't have to be a 4-post hole or anything like that. If it's a 3, you just feed both your positive through the center post. All right. If you didn't already know, this in the middle is your positive. These on the outside are your negatives. Okay. But yeah, what I was saying, I bend my wires up like that, so they go in a little bit easier. Just like so. Pull these in nice and tight, just like we did with the last one. You're basically just trying to get this so it's not touching any of the well or your post. I want to give me back my Allen key. There we go. Let's go ahead and check this. Where are we at here? 0.28. Not bad. That's sort of what I was aiming for, about 0.24 to 0.3. All right, let's go ahead and cut these legs off and give it a test fire. Okay, so now we got this on the Nemesis. And we kind of pulse it a couple times and get it going. See how it's going to fire all weird in the beginning. Let's see, this one's going the hottest right now. So you take these, get them nice and glowing, and compress. This is how you get your coils to work properly and turn them into a macro coil. And you do this a couple times until all the gaps and everything go away and your coils fire properly. They're already starting to look good. All Alright, look at that. Now they fire perfect. From the inside out and even. Perfect. Now I'm going to go ahead and throw this back on the ohm meter. We'll throw some cotton in there and juice it up, fire it up, and show you how it works. Okay, so here you go. Even after cleaning it up, we're still at a 0.28. And we got my cotton ball that I unravel because it makes it easier to grab your wick. So grab yourself a nice, fairly thick chunk of the cotton ball. And how I do this is I'll twist the one end to a nice point and feed it on through. Similar to that right there. That feels pretty good. And since the IGO-M has such a deep well, I leave quite a bit of cotton. Just like that. So let's do the other side now. So same thing, we twisted it to a point, grab it, feed it on through. Oh, this has a little too much cotton on it. There we go. That should pull through now. You want a little bit of resistance, not too much. That feels about right. And again, we'll cut off about right there. Cut off this end a little bit shorter since it's off to the edge of the deck and we're not doing a center post build. Then you take your trusty tool. Some people use dental picks. I use jumbo paper clips. And we just tuck that cotton right down into that well. Just like so. Let me just see, is my cotton all correct here? Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. You know, with the IGO-M, where you have this section here, you can kind of push back a little bit. That way you have the airflow coming up. All right, so that looks very good. That is what your finished dual macro coil should look like. And at a 0.28, remember, you should be using proper battery safety. And please use a 30 amp or more battery when building to this low of a resistance. All right, so we're going to pull out and go into regular mode and drip some juice on this and show you how it vapes. All right, so here we go. I'm going to use some of the Remus's Curse from Till Death Vapes. You saw my recent collection of juice reviews. I reviewed this one. It's a blackberry citrus blend. And this is zero nicotine. And it is a 2080 PG-VG blend. So make sure, we got a lot of cotton in here, so I'm going to saturate it like crazy. Typically the first time I'm juicing up a brand new wick, I throw lots of juice in there. Let's see what we got here. Burn off some of that juice here and get these coils going nice. Okay, now we'll get to vaping here. So there you go. Lots of flavor, lots of vapor, very easy build to make. So if you're looking for a basic macro coil, dual macro coil at a fairly low sub-ohm range, go for it. This is the macro coil. I'm Ray Lopez. Thank you for watching. If you like these videos, if you've seen any of them before, you know I'm doing a build a week right now. So there'll be many, many more builds coming. Everything from, you know, center post builds, dragon wick, double dragon coils, and anything else that comes my way. Any other cool builds. I've been doing some. I've done the swan coil, the wickless coil, and of course I have the nanos and the micros and the quads and everything like that in between. So I'm going to be filling up my channel with tons and tons of different build tutorials that you can follow. If you ever have any questions, let me know, or you can join my Facebook group, which is the Cotton Collective. I'll have a link in the description. It's also everywhere on my YouTube channel. You can always come in there. Bunch of good people in there that'll help you out in any way you need. All right, you guys, so thank you for watching, and as always, vape on.